back to Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. Visit speciesnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo. Today's guest is a good friend of mine. He's got a great show. It's called the Legion Sports Fest. It's coming up in November, and we got him here to get people very excited about it. Welcome back, Chris Minnigs, to the show.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
Absolutely. Now, when you do things, you do them big. You probably people remember when you used to run the show with Lou Ferrigno for a while, a number of years. It was building up, and then Lou decided to want to do it, and so you kind of went your separate directions. Now you're back with this Legion Sports Fest. You really put forth a huge effort to really promote the hell out of this thing this year, using many different vehicles to do it. And you got a star-studded cast there, and you got some great innovation. So I want people to kind of get an idea of, first of all, what gave you the inspiration to do this particular type of a show? I know you've always been into promoting, but this is like kind of taking it to the next level.
Yeah. We want to do something, for one, different, but we wanted to do something that really, it gives back, and I think it really helps to inspire. If you look at our website, you see our branding, it's there's superheroes. So it's really all about finding your inner superhero. A lot of us, especially in the bodybuilding world, we're inspired by maybe someone fictional, or we aspire to be bigger and better than ourselves. And I think this reflects well with what we're doing at the Legion.
Yeah, it's going to be November 9th and 10th, and you have a great lineup. You've been sending me the competitor lists. We've been seeing people adding on by the day. Obviously, this is a great opportunity at the end of the year here to kind of qualify for the Olympia for 2020. So I think a lot of people who are at least going to be entering the show are going to be getting a huge jump on the rest of the field, because once 2020 comes, they're already kind of qualified. They don't have to really worry about it very much. You have classic physique, you have men's physique, you have 212. I see you have even pro fitness and pro figure. So it's going to be a big weekend. And I noticed that you have the thing that really kind of like got my interest is the seminar you're doing, where you're going to be doing what is it going to be, like a posing presentation type of contest prep seminar?
It's kind of an A to Z contest prep seminar. Yeah, we started out with going over diet, going training, supplements, all that good stuff, into some Q&As with some of the top pros in the world, and then hands-on, one-on-one posing with, again, these top pros in the world. Now, our goal is to really help grow and bring new athletes into the sport, and it's kind of hard to find really good information, and really, with these guys, you can't find better information.
Well, I like that you kind of got a representative of each category. So you have like Jay Cutler for men's bodybuilding. You have Mark Anthony, who was the first men's physique Olympia champ, who can go over men's physique posing. You have Danny Hester, who does classic, and obviously was also a bodybuilder for many, many years. Linda Murray, if you're looking for women's posing. So you really have all the angles kind of covered over there. And I think that for anyone who at least attends the whole weekend festival there, they really have a lot of information they're gonna come away with. Not only just to watch a great show, go to the Expo and get free samples of everything, and we'll talk about some of the other goodies you got going on. But then they also get a lot of information. And for me, that was always the sign of a show that I enjoyed. I remember, they didn't have huge shows like this really when I was, coming up, aside from the Arnold. But I remember going to the Muscle Beach show on the Jersey Shore one weekend. It was a long drive. It was like 2 hours or 2.5 hours from my house in New York. And I went down there to help a person who was doing the show. And they did so much fun stuff that year. They were giving out free T-shirts, and they were doing free giveaways, and they were doing little like push-up contests. That I was like, what? I had a good time at the show. And to me, that was one of the most memorable shows I went to, when it wasn't a great competitive show. Melissa Coates guest pose, a really creative guest posing thing she did there, something I hadn't seen before. And so for me, I really enjoyed the weekend, and I think that that's something that is missing, lately in a lot of these shows that are going on. And I think you're trying to bring back that fun.
That was one of the feelings when I was competing a lot. I would felt like kind of, I guess, empty at the end of the show. Like I wanted to still hang out with everybody and shoot the shit and, talk about what happened, and all of a sudden it was over. So, we've tried to build in the social aspect of it as well. And, I mentioned about our Ultra Lounge in the middle.
Tell everyone what the Ultra Lounge is.
All right, so Ultra Lounge, we've got some booze sponsors, and actually our title sponsor is Monster Energy.
Oh wow!
And so they're all coming together. We're gonna have a bar in there. We're gonna have a DJ. We're gonna live stream some of the events. some contests, that whole thing. But it's a place where you go chill, you get up some coffee in the morning, some drinks at night, or in the
Now, how do you
afternoon.
get Monster on board to sponsor an event like that? That's a big mainstream sponsor.
They call them like every week for like 5 years straight, and eventually they return your call.
Is that really how you did it?
You guys want sponsors? That's how to get them. Yep.
Wow, that my hat's off to you. You did the work and you got a great sponsor, and that's a company that's very reputable. So I think people like that adds legitimacy to your show. Even if even if they're not giving you a ton of money, I think it just legitimizes what you're doing.
When people walk in, they see those big 20 by 30 booths, and then music's bumping. They feel like they've arrived.
That's right. That's right. Now you're also doing something really fun. And I don't even know who came up with this idea, if it was you or not, because it's a great idea. You've created like playing cards for a lot of the celebrities and dignitaries you have in the house. Well, how many cards did you make?
So it's a total of 7 cards.
Show the cards.
Here's a couple of how they look. So there's Batmanian, J.M. Manion there, and Danny Hester, and so on.
I love it.
And so you collect all 7, and
Right.
these are all stashed with our sponsors throughout the Expo. So it's a really cool way.
So it's like a treasure hunt almost, right?
It's a treasure hunt, exactly. It's kind of like that Pokemon Go, except it helps actually our sponsors out quite a bit, because then they're getting engagement from the audience, and the audience, they had a blast. It's probably the lowest investment, highest return,
Right.
Fun item we've ever had at the events. And you turn it in, and we're lifting belts for you and jackets and all kinds of good stuff.
So what you do is you got to go ask the different sponsors at the booth, hey, do you have any cards? And so they may have maybe they have the Danny Hester card, so they give you one card. Now you go to a different booth and see what cards they got. It's like when I was a kid, I still do it. You go to McDonald's when they have the Monopoly game, because you want to get all the different, you want to try to get all the cards, and there's always one card or one little scratch off or one little thing that they short you on. So you can get everything except the one that you need. Now, did you do that too?
Oh, we do. Yep. There's one rare one. I'll give you a spoiler alert. It is the J.M. Manion.
Oh, okay. So if you get that one, you're pretty much going to get them all.
Good.
Yeah.
They were driving him crazy last year trying to get cards off of him. He said, I don't have any. You got to go find it.
Now, we know JM's a big comic book fanatic, so he must love the fact that you've made a superhero card of him.
When he saw it, my phone was blowing up. And then he made a series of comic books himself a while back, and he sent me copies of all his comic books.
Yeah.
I think there's some more we can do with that down the road.
Who drew the caricatures?
This guy, he's a fella out in Illinois. His name's Don Keller. I just found him on it was actually Fiverr is where I originally found him, and we started working together, and we started getting more and more complex, and really had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great idea. And so, if you guys collect all the cards, what do you do once you have the whole set? Who do you turn them into?
Yeah, then you come to the Legion booth where we have all of our apparel, and you show us all 7. We're gonna put a stamp on them, and once you turn them in, and depending on when you show up, you may get belts. We give tickets out to other shows. We give out registration for our other center podium shows.
Right.
All kinds of stuff. And of course our sponsors kick down a bunch of cool stuff.
It's like when you go to the skeet ball. You play skeet ball at Dave and Buster's, and you turn in all your tickets at the end, and you think you have 10,000 tickets. You think you can buy anything, and you wind up with one of those bouncy rubber balls or something like that. Meanwhile, the cool item is like 1 million tickets. You have to get.
Exactly. You got to put in a couple years.
My son, I took him to one of those places. I think it might have been a Dave and Buster's, a new one that opened here, and he hit some kind of Wheel of Fortune game he played. He's 3. He was 3 years old when I went there. He didn't know what he was doing. He just hit the button, and he hit the jackpot. I got more excited than he did, because there was 10,000 tickets came out of this machine. I was like, "You did it! You hit the jackpot!" And we actually were able to buy something kind of cool in the store with it. In one of those, when you return the tickets, they were actually surprised how many tickets we turned in. But but that's fun. You're adding a level of fun to the show, and that makes people remember it and makes them want to come back the following year.
Exactly. You remember how you felt.
Will we ever see a men's open show again at the Legions?
I think there's a real good chance. I'm trying to grow smart with this show. As you know, the sanction and prize money is a good solid $20,000 more than 212. The way things are picking up and looking this year, I think there's a real good chance we're going to have that next year.
Well, maybe instead of Monster, you can get Rockstar or something like that. Maybe you get both of them competing, bidding against each other for that.
There we go.
That sponsorship.
we'll get Jack from Bang. We'll have a three-way.
There you go. Yeah, that's right. Call Jack Owak for Bang.
Yep.
What if people want to sign up for the show? Is there an amateur show also? I'm assuming, right? No amateur show. Only open.
Pro.
I mean, only
now, we
pro
do have
show.
12 total sports, but we don't have that amateur bodybuilding show.
Now, why didn't you do the amateur show? Because usually the amateur show fuels, in terms of cash coming in, fuels the other show.
I'll give you some background on it. Is the reason the Ferrigno was in Santa Barbara and it was in the middle of the desert was because of scheduling of the NPC show. We couldn't have them in the LA area. And that holds true right now as well. So to be in a better market, I had to drop the NPC show. And we saw the potential of the Expo to becoming something much bigger than an NPC show. I already have, 6 NPC shows, 1 pro qualifier in this. So I wanted to kind of diversify a little and do something different and fun. But yeah, unfortunately, we had to drop the NPC show to make that happen in Long Beach, which is just a fantastic location compared to Palm Desert, where you just never would get the traffic you need from Expo.
Right. Well, you want to be in the LA-ish area there because that's obviously where all the NPC competitors are, and it's easy to get there if you have to fly into LAX and that kind of stuff. I think it just makes it more convenient, and it's a little cheaper as well. So, you know what? Look, you obviously have created a different business model here than the normal business model, which is I think what most promoters do is they put on these NPC shows, they make a ton of money from that, it fuels the pro show, they get more audience members to watch the pro show. You've decided to focus on the Expo experience itself. So the people are coming there. Look, people love free stuff. I always liked free stuff. I mean, you go there, you go to all the booths, you get the free samples. You buy a couple T-shirts, maybe you get educated on these different companies' products and stuff like that. And it sounds like you just don't have supplements. It's like there's more of a variety of all kinds of health and fitness type stuff going on there.
And with 12 sports, that's actually attracting a lot of companies you might not see at the Olympia. We also reach out beyond, the typical Olympia Arnold Expo audience, where we're going to IDEA, we're going to technology expos and things along those lines. So we're bringing still fitness-related products, but a lot that you haven't seen at other places because we're going to other places. The other thing, we were at the CrossFit Games because, our event includes the biggest CrossFit competition in California as well.
Wow.
So, you and I, being from bodybuilding, we focus on the bodybuilding side, but there's 12 sports, and one of them is also, they may be the biggest competition on the West Coast. And, powerlifting, we just brought in something, it's called the Armed Combat League. If you don't know what that is, these guys dress up in armor. And they beat the crap out of each other with swords and axes.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I was born 30 years too late. Too early, I should say, because, man, that would have been right. I was like playing Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid. I would love to do that.
There's still time. You can try it out at the show.
So what do? They actually whack each other with the swords?
Dude, I saw the video, and they're beating the crap out of each other. I'm not sure why they don't die.
Yeah.
But they look like.
I got to bring my son over there. Do they have a kids league? He's got his Thor's hammer. He's gonna go. He'd love to whack a few people with that.
We do have kids MMA, so maybe he wants to get in on that.
No, he wants to hit them with the hammer. I think he wants to throw the hammer. He thinks he's Thor.
We'll consider that for 2020.
Well, Chris, always great talking to you. Good luck on the show. Obviously, we have we're running your commercials on all the TV programming. We really want to promote this show as much as possible. Give us the website. We'll put it up on the screen as well so that people can go buy tickets for this thing.
Awesome. It's at legionsportsfest.com. Right now, tickets are 20% off.
Wow. Okay.
So jump on those now to get that deal. Also, our Ifbb Pro Finals, it's only an 800-seat room. So if you want to get in on there, get those tickets early because those are going to go real fast.
Yeah, guys, don't wait. You know what? Then you'll be crying at the door or you get bad tickets. This is your opportunity. 20% off. Go to the Legion Sports Festival website and check that out. And, of course, you're not going to want to miss that Superstar seminar featuring, Jay Cutler among, many other Olympia champs, including Linda Murray and Oksana Grishina and Danny Hester. So I mean, this is a star-studded, seminar that might be worth the price of admission just to go see that. So here's an opportunity.
That price of admission includes the Expo, Ifbb prejudging, and the seminar. It's $45.
That's awesome. That's a great thing you're offering there, Chris. And you got to remember, these guys don't come for free. Chris has got to pay for all this. And the reason he's doing it is because he wants everyone to have a great experience there. He's not just trying to make money, although that's obviously the goal, but he's not just trying to make money. He's trying to put quality entertainment, education out there so that you have a good experience there. And believe me, if I had the opportunity to go there, if I didn't have a 2-month-old daughter, I'd be out there, checking out all the festivities, because I know Chris wants me out there, and I would be welcome with open arms, and I will be there in future shows for sure. Chris, you're doing great work. I know this thing is going to grow into a monster in the future. Just keep pushing, because I know eventually you're going to get where you want to go.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
All right. Guys, that's going to take us to the end of another episode of Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. I'm Dave Palumbo. We'll see you next time.